This new AI can now do tasks that millions of office workers do every single day. Not in the future. Not in theory. Right now. We're talking about AI that can open software, read documents, analyze data, write emails, and complete real work from start to finish without human help. And this is where things start to get a little uncomfortable. Because if this technology keeps improving at this pace, it could begin replacing certain jobs much faster than people expect. Most people still think of AI as something simple. A tool that helps you write. Something that answers questions. Something you use for small tasks. But that version of AI is already becoming outdated. There is a new type of AI being developed right now, often called AI agents. And these systems are very different. They don't just respond. They act. Instead of waiting for instructions one step at a time, they can plan, make decisions, and complete entire workflows on their own. And that changes everything. Because now AI is not just helping workers. It is starting to behave like one. Think about how most office jobs actually work. You open applications. You move between tools. You read information. You make decisions. You organize tasks. You communicate with others. Most of this work happens on a computer. And that is exactly the environment where AI is becoming more powerful. Now imagine giving an AI a simple goal. Something like organizing files, analyzing a spreadsheet, and sending a summary to your team. A traditional AI might help you with parts of that. But an AI agent could take that goal and execute the entire process. It could open the software, find the right data, analyze it, create the summary, and send it to the right people, all without needing constant instructions. This is not science fiction. This is what companies are actively building right now. And early versions of these systems already exist. Some can browse the internet, interact with applications, and complete multi-step tasks with minimal supervision. And while they are not perfect yet, the progress is happening very fast. And that speed is what makes this moment different. Because in the past, automation moved slowly. Machines replaced repetitive physical labor first. Factories automated assembly lines. Robots handled predictable tasks. But knowledge work, office work, digital work has remained relatively untouched. Until now. Because AI agents are targeting something new. Digital workflows. The kind of work done on computers every single day. And the more structured that work is, the easier it becomes for AI to learn. Think about jobs like administrative assistants, data entry specialists, customer support agents, junior analysts. Many of these roles involve following clear steps, using software, and handling information. And those are exactly the types of tasks AI is starting to handle. But here is something important to understand. This does not mean all jobs suddenly disappear. That is not how these transitions usually work. It happens in stages. First, AI assists workers. Then it takes over small parts of the job. Then it begins handling entire workflows. And over time, the role of the human changes. The risk is not instant replacement. The risk is gradual displacement. Tasks get removed. Responsibilities shrink. Fewer people are needed. And eventually, some roles change completely. And this process can happen faster than people expect. Because once companies see that AI can do something faster, cheaper, and at scale, they begin adopting it. At first, they test it, then they expand it, and eventually they depend on it. And that is how industries shift. Right now, businesses are under constant pressure to increase efficiency, reduce costs, move faster. If an AI system can complete tasks in seconds that take humans hours, the incentive to adopt that system becomes very strong. And we are already seeing this happen. Companies are experimenting with AI to automate customer service, handle internal operations, assist with data analysis, and manage workflows. At first, AI works alongside employees. Then it starts taking over parts of their responsibilities. And slowly, the structure of work begins to change. But there is another side to this story. Because while some jobs may shrink or evolve, new roles can also emerge. This has happened in every major technological shift. When computers were introduced, many feared job loss. But new industries were created, New skills became valuable. New opportunities appeared. The same could happen with AI. But there is one key difference: speed. AI is developing much faster than previous technologies, and that creates a gap. A gap between the jobs that are changing and the new roles that are being created. And that gap is where uncertainty comes from. Because not everyone can adapt at the same pace. Not every role can transition easily. And not every industry will change in the same way. Some areas will adopt AI quickly. Others will take longer. But the direction is clear. AI is moving from being a tool to becoming a worker. And once that shift happens, the impact becomes much bigger. Because tools help you do your job. Workers can replace parts of it. And that is what makes AI agents so important. They are not just improving productivity. They are redefining how work gets done. And this is not limited to one company. Multiple tech companies are racing to build these systems, which means competition is accelerating development. And when competition increases, innovation speeds up. So this is not a slow trend. It is a fast-moving shift. And the question is not whether AI agents will improve. They will. The real question is how quickly they will become reliable enough for widespread use. Because once that happens, they will not just be used occasionally. They will become part of everyday workflows, just like software tools are today. And that is when the real transformation begins. When AI is no longer something you experiment with, but something you rely on. At that point, the role of human workers starts to evolve. Instead of doing tasks directly, people may begin supervising AI systems, managing them, guiding them, or focusing on higher-level decisions. But that transition will not be the same for everyone. Some roles will adapt smoothly, others will face more pressure, and new roles will emerge that do not exist today. But change is coming, and it is happening faster than most people realize. Because AI is no longer just answering questions, it is starting to take action. And once machines can take action, the impact becomes much more significant. Because action is what defines work. And if machines can perform that work, even partially, the structure of jobs begins to shift. So the question is no longer whether AI can help you. That part is already clear. The real question is whether AI can do parts of your job. And if it can, how much of it can it take over? And if that continues to grow, how long before companies start restructuring around it? Because when that happens, the conversation changes. It is no longer about using AI. It is about competing with it. And that is a very different reality. One that is already starting to take shape. The only question is how quickly it will arrive, and whether people are ready for it.